And Eric is the founder of Bourbon Friday, so we're excited to talk with him. And he's going to tell us what we're drinking today. What do we got?
Sure. We are drinking Legent. And Legent is kind of an interesting thing. I believe it was about 5 years ago that Suntory acquired the Jim Beam brand. And this is the first time collaboration between Jim Beam and the main Suntory. This is Fred No, who is the big master distiller at Jim Beam. He's sort of like picking the flavor profile, but what Suntory is known for is blending. Okay. So this is a 5th generation Japanese master blender, like picking these out and blending whiskeys to create this product. But why this is actually here is I was kind of looking into bourbon and cybersecurity. And one of the instances that I found was there was a senior network architect named Amon Hogue that was at DefCon, which is one of the world's largest hacker and cybersecurity conferences. He was there a few years ago, and one of their hacking examples was hacking a distillery. And something that we often don't think about in cybersecurity, we always think data security and identity theft and all of this. Well, what happens if somebody can get access to the manufacturing floor or distilling floor of a distillery? Bad things happen because you're talking about a flammable, explosive liquid, pressure, all of that. Well, they were able to hack this virtually, and that made him super nervous. So basically, because you're dealing with these giant companies, now Jim Beam's the largest bourbon distiller in the United States, and Suntory is one of the largest distilleries worldwide. What happens, because you need to be able to open up your systems to outside companies, so whether that's supply chain or whatever. So yeah, they are making huge efforts because this is something we never think about is, oh no, you cannot just steal somebody's information. You could actually do huge damage and harm to facilities and people and all of that just because of that.
Hadn't thought about that before.
I didn't either until I sort of started looking into it, and I'm like,
something else
oh
to be
wow.
Scared of, right?
Well,
There was a story of one of our. I was doing a panel with an individual for a local company, and he was hired by a manufacturing company that made food, and so they came in after hours and were checking machines. And in most manufacturing plants, everything's automated, right? Sure. So if you're servicing it, you could do a network virtually and dial in. Well, as they're walking through the plant, they noticed that one of the ovens was open. And so they were getting ready to kind of click log and shut it so it wouldn't be hacked. But in the process of that, there was a moment of they turned white and there was a panic, and they realized that it only shuts down for one of two reasons, and one of it is cleaning. So somebody was actually in the oven. Ooh. And so they were seconds away from punching it in. So if they would have tried to protect the network from that person, that there would have been some fatalities and not great things that happened. So it is more.
Oh
as well.
It was just something I oh yeah, right. Yeah. And I mean, you hear about that as far as the grid and nuclear power plants and that, but it's even thinking about something. Oh no, it's just a distillery. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Wow. Well, on that note,
sorry, didn't mean to bring it around. I was I thought it was cool.
It's interesting.
It's everywhere. This is.
Yeah,
it was more along. That's what I'm trying to get across. Across every industry that this is going to become more and more important.
I look back before I took this job 3 years ago. Cybersecurity. I mean, I think everybody knows what cybersecurity is, but I didn't understand the inner workings of it. Right. And it's kind of scary when we, as humans, we like our conveniences, right? Our Alexas and our Rings and all of these, our refrigerators. All of those touch points now become hackable. Yeah. And somebody's listening, so it gets deep. Yeah. And that part frightens me a little bit. I'm not on the flip of super extreme about it, but it's definitely.
We have the little window things that cover up the camera in our laptops, and all the time people are always like, whoa, why do you do that? And we're like, because your camera can get hacked and you won't even know, And they're like, really? That can happen? It's you have no, if you don't know that, there's all kinds of stuff you don't know about, right?
there's lots of great videos and content that's out there. Like if you're interested in learning about hacking, just YouTube, Reddit. There's so many resources that are out there. But there's a little thing Hack5 makes. They call it a rubber ducky. So it's literally a USB drive, and it looks like every other USB drive you'd have, and it has a little micro SD card in it that you can go and write keyloggers and all this little script into it. So if I'm in a parking lot of whatever large company that's out there and I drop 15 or 20 rubber duckies, and somebody comes in, and the inclination, the human nature of that is like, I'm curious, like, what if it has something on it I want to see, and it's juicy, right? Like, of course I want to keep this. So you pop it into the thumb drive, and then we were talking about the guy else on the website. He had one, and he wrote some script, and he's like, hey, try it. I was skeptical at first, but I trust him, so I figured whatever he put on my computer, he would take off. So he did. So I popped it in there, and like within 3 seconds, it had a little black script box that was, by the time I looked to even think to click, it was gone, because the keylogger wrote some script. So I went and walked back to his desk, and he had access to my computer.
Wow.
All within 7 seconds. And if I would have put it in and looked away and looked around, I never would have noticed it was there.
Wow. Well, that's fun. Yeah. So,
I think I just broke Nick.
I got things to think